Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. We just had a walk-through practice today, but we did have some key guys return. Jalyn Armour-Davis is back on the field. Isaiah Likely and Melvin Gordon also returned. Ronnie Stanley returned. So that's all great news, especially Jalyn Armour-Davis with how thin this cornerback room is. It's like all we've been talking about right now, this Marlon Humphrey news. So getting Jalyn Armour-Davis, who was having a great camp, getting him back on the practice field and hopefully some preseason snaps. I mean, obviously I want him to stay healthy, so if there's something lingering and it's a risk for him to play in the preseason, then wait. But if he is back to full strength, then it would be nice to see him in the preseason game as well, just to kind of see where he's at. And can he be one of our starting corners right now while Marlon Humphrey's out? Like, is he capable of doing that job? Mike McDonald said earlier in the offseason that he was pushing Rocky Sin at the time, so Jalyn Armour-Davis has all the opportunity in front of him to really take a leap and become one of the main corners of this team if he shows out. If not, then cornerback 3 could be the immediate backup to Marlon Humphrey and Rocky Sin when they return. I'm just glad he's back out there, and we should see a string of corners coming back here. Arthur Mullet's close, and then Rocky Sin should be not too far behind, according to Harbaugh. We still have 3 weeks until the season, so hopefully Marlon can heal quick. And speaking of Marlon, it seems like he had a successful surgery. So we're just wishing you a speedy recovery, Marlon. Hopefully you can get back as soon as possible and not miss too many regular season games. But whatever it takes for you to get back to full strength, we're going to need you all year long. So if you got to miss 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, I don't want that. Obviously, it's going to be really hard to play incredible defense without Marlon Humphrey on this team. But it's more important to have him for the remainder of the season. We can't have him come back for a few games and then boom, his foot's bothering him again. He's out for another stretch of games. He's got to get more surgery work. Like, we've seen people that come back and rush their recovery process have to kind of keep getting procedures, and it's just this battle all year long. So I do not want something like that. Heal up however long it takes. We need you for the long haul. We need you in the playoffs because we're trying to win a Super Bowl, and we definitely need Marlon Humphrey to do it. In other cornerback news, the Ravens had Ronald Darby in for a visit today. I do like that, but I also don't know what type of shape he's in. He is coming off of an ACL injury, and he had a visit with the Titans prior that he didn't end up signing. And now he's on a visit with the Ravens today. So we'll see what happens there. I do like the fit. He's a veteran. He's got plenty of experience. He would be more of an outside guy, which is what we need right now. I feel like we can rotate the slot and kind of get by, but we definitely need some outside depth, and that's what he would provide. And he was playing great before the injury, but you tear your ACL, and then this is the season you're coming back from it. There is always a concern there. We saw that with Marcus Peters when he came back last year. He just wasn't the same. And he'll probably play better this season for the Raiders than he did for us last year, just because that was that first year off the ACL. And sometimes the players are just not themselves fresh off the ACL. They're not trusting it. But we'll see. Hopefully he's in great shape and he's ready to play and can contribute to this defense. I would love that signing, but he's got to be in shape. He's got to be close to his old self, or the Ravens are probably going to pass on him. But they're clearly doing their due diligence. They've brought in multiple cornerbacks. I'm just waiting for somebody to get signed here soon. I'm thinking the reason that they're not being signed is because they're not ready to contribute. They're big names. They have plenty of experience in the past, but you got to look at them right now. Can you step on the field and contribute for us right now? Are you going to be in shape and available all season long? You know what I mean? Those are serious questions before you give somebody a contract. And if the Ravens aren't signing these cornerbacks when we're in this desperate of a situation, that tells me that they're probably just not in shape. They're not as good as we think they are because we're judging them off their name and their career. But What about right now, this second? So we'll see how it plays out. We're definitely going to add a cornerback or two. I'm just not sure who that's going to end up being. We're bringing in a lot of guys for visits, and it's not leading to contracts. Like I said earlier, practice was a walkthrough today. There were some absences. Tyler Huntley's still out. Odell Beckham Jr. was out, probably a vet day for him. Laquan Treadwell, Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman was out last practice as well. Harbaugh said that there's no new injury. This is just a part of his procedure, and they're just ramping him up for the regular season. So I don't think him missing back-to-back practice days. When Harbaugh spoke yesterday, he said that there was no new injury. So I don't think that him missing this practice is due to any type of injury as well. So Bateman should be good. I'm not sure what's going on with Treadwell. He most likely would not be given the day off, so maybe he got a little banged up. Well, we didn't hear from Harbaugh today in the press conference, so I'm not sure. And then obviously all the cornerbacks that are missing. Pepe Williams had surgery. He's out. Rock Ya-Sin's out still. Swan is out now. Arthur Mollett, Amos, and then Marlon Humphrey. So those guys were all absent today. But getting Jalyn Armour-Davis back at practice does make me feel a little better. I saw this clip floating around on Twitter last night of Odafe Oweh in one-on-ones against the Commanders. And he does this nasty spin move around their tackle. And I feel like when Chuck Smith said Odafe's got a signature move, we're going to know about it this season, I feel like that's going to be it. He does this inside. He cuts inside and then spins off. And it looks natural. It looks quick. He's obviously an athletic freak. We've already known that. He's really fast, especially just for a pass rusher. I mean, he's really quick. And hopefully he can use this athleticism. Mike McDonald said in his press conference today that Odafe Oweh has a lot more of a plan ahead of time now, which obviously should have probably always been happening. But I think Chuck Smith coaching these guys, Oweh and Ajabo and the rest of the crew, is really elevating their games. I felt like this move looked clean. It's natural. And I feel like it's going to be really effective this year. You know, Odafe Oweh is always close to getting the quarterback or making the big play, but just couldn't finish it over these past few years. So looking for him to take his game to another level. And I don't see any reason that he's not going to, especially adding pass rush moves like this to his arsenal. And then I'm excited about David Ajabo on the other side as well to see what we're getting from him. I'm really excited about this pass rush. We're going to have to put some pressure on the quarterback, especially early in the season when we don't have Marlon Humphrey. We're obviously a little weaker in the secondary, so if we can get to the quarterback faster, that's only going to benefit the entire defense. Todd Monken did confirm in his press conference today that he will be calling all the plays from upstairs in the booth.
It's much easier because at the moment you feel like you can scream. No one's right there, even though you think they can hear you through the glass. But the reality is it allows you to stay a lot more focused and try to keep it as calm as you can. As calm as you can. I'm human, so it doesn't mean I don't get frustrated or I don't make mistakes, but it has always allowed me, and I can see it better.
Not a surprise at all. He did that in college. He did that in the preseason game against the Eagles last week. I mentioned that in the post-game thoughts that he's probably going to be in the box since that's where he was in that game. And he just said he can stay a lot more calm up there, and he can see the field a lot better. And it makes sense. If you've ever sat in a stadium, if you sit in the middle or even the nosebleeds sometimes, you can just see the field a lot better. You can see that defense fully set up. When you're on the sideline, everything's so close. And it's probably a lot more chaotic as well. And that's why he said that he can stay pretty calm up there. And even if he does lose his emotions, he's kind of just like yelling at the glass. And with his offensive staff, you know, there's no players involved or anything like that. So that's it for today, guys. Shorter video is a walkthrough practice. There's not quite as much news floating around. And that's not always a bad thing. Let's keep getting guys healthy and just keep working and stacking days for this regular season coming up in a few weeks. We have a preseason game against the Commanders Monday night. I'll do a preview for the game and then ask a question like we did last week and send the winner $50. So look out for that. And as always, guys, I appreciate you supporting this channel for real. I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.